welcome back to my creative space. This is Emma, and I have to tell you, it's a very wintry day out there. It's not often that I don't like the weather, but today it's that kind of wintry, cold, wet, been icy. It's been very snowy in some places over this last week or so. I was going to go and see my sister the other weekend, but actually I didn't go because they had 2 inches of snow, which the UK, I don't know, anybody who lives somewhere where there is lots of snow all, every winter, really deep snow and prolonged snow, we're not very good at snow in this country. We're kind of grind to a halt if there's a little bit on the road because we don't know what to do with it, and because we don't put winter tyres on and things like that, we're just not really very prepared for it because we don't really get that much of it. So there we go. So I didn't go and see her, but I got lots of things done in the house instead. I'm doing lots of new things in the house. I'm doing lots of clearing out again. Not my stuff necessarily, but there's things changing in my life, shall we say, and it's really quite exciting. I'm preparing some rooms that those of you who've been watching for a while, as I always say, we had builders in 2 years ago, would you believe, 2 years ago, we took out some very old beams which were not supporting beams. They were sort of being put in for decoration years and years and years ago before we bought the house, and they were just so heavy and gloomy, and we just felt we wanted a light room. So we got the builders in and they sorted it all out for us, and then it took me about 3 months to paint it, and then stuff has been happening, life happens, and the room has been filled with junk. So I have cleared it out, and over the weekend we actually lit the stove in there. Me and the cat and my husband, we kind of sat in there. We had lovely wood burner burning away in the corner, and it was really cosy, and it made the room come to life. I think the room, bless it, has just been being very patient, waiting for us to go and pay it some attention and sort it out. So that was really positive. That was really nice. So not going to my sister was, you know, a bit sad because I would have liked to have seen them all, but I got lots of things done and cleared out. You know, I had piles of cardboard boxes that we kind of saved because we put them in the garden. We used them as a mulch in the veggie patch, and they were just sort of piling up, and I hadn't got around to, you know, when you've got to dismantle things and take the tape off, take all the sticky tape off, all so it's sort of a mundane job, but actually really brilliant, because so we've now got 2 rooms that we can use, and I've actually got the chap coming back to do some plastering in the other room next to it. So, you know, it's quite exciting really. So I have been getting on with this as well. I've been coming down to my studio, partly because it's nice and warm down here. It's been lovely. When the weather's been so wintry, we had very deep frost, which I always love. It makes everything so bright, and you know, you just have to put lots of layers on in the house or not in the house. It's when we're wearing a hat in the house, you know that it's winter here. So I think today we're going to get on with some stitching, with some of the background. Let's get some leaves put on it maybe. I think that's the way we're going with this, and sort of build up the layers and build up the picture. I'm loving working on this, and I'm so glad for all your comments. It's been lovely to hear what you think, and have your input is so valuable to me. I love sharing this with you. I love sharing the process, but I wouldn't be doing it without you. So thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to, and you know, tick the, what do? You click the thing that says like the video or something, and then other people might come and find us and join us here and have some fun with fabric and stitch, and just let the world go by for a while. So yeah, so let's get on with this and we'll see where we're at today. Okay, so you can see, hopefully, what I've done here is I've just embellished all those little pieces down. I'm not quite sure how much I want them to be embellished. I don't want it to fight with this, and at the moment that's looking a little bit as though it's sort of more in the foreground than this. I'll maybe have to knock that back when I do the stitching on it, so that this is what, because the tree is really in the foreground, I would say. If I had this sort of going underneath down here at the base of the tree, that would be different. That would then be in the foreground, but I think this is what needs to stand out at the front, and so I think the stitching will knock that back, and that's what I'm going to do next. Let's go over to my sewing machine and we'll get some threads and we'll get some stitching done. Okay, so these are the colours I'm kind of picking out to go onto this area. I've got some darkish mid brown, I would say they are. I've got some orangey shades. I think that one might be a little bit leery, might be a little bit too bright. As I say, I want this to be a background to the tree, so I don't want it shouting. It mustn't shout, no shouting, thank you. And I think that's quite a nice sort of shade to mix in with this. I've lost the end of it now. I think that kind of goes, so that I've kind of kept it quite subtle. As I say, I think we'll take that one out actually, I don't think that really belongs. Quite subtle, quite gentle, and I'll just use them as and where and how I want to use on here. So I'm just starting off stitching down the leaves, and I have to say it's an absolutely joyful thing to do. The colour underneath the sewing machine of these orangey shades is just, it's absolutely glowing this morning. I think it's because it's a really bright sunny day, so everything's really standing out. So I'm just getting going with this. Okay, so let's just try this one. Where's my little thread gone? Get rid of that. So I don't know if you can see that. Perhaps if I turn the light off you might see it better. Possibly. You can see I've got these lines coming out, and I'll show you. Can I show you on the back somehow? Let's just see. We can show you on the back. So there we go. You can see what I'm doing on the back now. I'm just doing sort of leaf vein sort of shapes really. I'm not worried about it being exact. It's got to be just kind of rough and ready and give this impression of being leaves in a great big pile really. So I'm just messing about with these colours. I'm just going to mix and match and do whatever feels like doing it. And it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be sitting here and just doing this. I'm just debating whether that colour is going to go on there. So I'm taking this colour around, if you like. I'm taking it around the world with me, this colour. And I take it from leaf to leaf, each colour, and see which one would like this colour next. The stitching couldn't be easier, it really couldn't. Let's cut that off there. And just by being brave and starting, it's beginning to look like something which so this is really nice to do. I'm just going to mess around and do some more, and I'll show you it when it's finished. Or this bit is finished. Not the whole thing, that will take ages. Okay, so this is a bit random, but I just thought I'd show you the inspiration I had for the piece that I'm working on at the moment, the particular part of the picture that I'm making. This was kind of what I've had in my head, and these are gorgeous now. These are leaves I picked up a few weeks ago, and they're all just beautiful and dry, and each one really is an inspiration, I think. But it was this sort of mass, this lovely mosaic that you get, don't you, when you walk through leaves. And everyone is beautiful. Each one's got beautiful markings and beautiful colourings. And it was the veins that I was trying to emulate with what the stitching I've just been doing. So I just thought I'd share that with you, because that's been kind of my inspiration for this section of the piece. So we'll move that out of the way. And we'll bring in the piece itself. Here we are, here we are. So this is where I've got to. I don't know whether it's more helpful for you to see it that way, possibly. Don't know which is better. Well, we'll do it that way for now, because the tree is coming down here, and this is like the leaves at the foot of the tree, behind the tree, in the background, if you like. And I just think the colours are just incredible, the way they sing together. I would never have thought to put like an orange and pink, yes, but not these sort of purples and the turquoises as well. And then these gorgeous russety browns and things coming in. And you can see I've done really simple stitching. If I show you the back, you can see I have done extremely simple stitching. You know, it's definitely not rocket science, as I say. But I do need to cut these bits out. You can see where I've jumped from place to place, so I need to make sure that those are cut so that there's no tension coming from the back. So I've done the same over here. These all need a bit of a trim. Anyway, so that's where we're at. I think that's enough stitching on this bit for now. I don't want to overwork it. I've left some bits with no stitching deliberately because I don't want the whole thing to look, woo, kind of, you know, leaping out at you. You can see I've left my edges. I haven't stitched my edges because I haven't quite decided yet whether I'm turning edges in or whether I'm leaving them kind of loose and fluffy. At the moment they're all pretty loose and fluffy, so I'm leaving them like that till I get further down the track with the piece. So the next piece I'm going to look at is this area here. I'm keeping away from the top at the moment. I think we're going to have to do something quite dramatic here to bring the attention to this bit, because otherwise it's just going to be a busy sort of background. But we'll think about that later. What I'm interested in now is this piece here. And it's kind of this lovely sort of mustardy yellow, and I'm just wondering whether I've just got some other yellows here. These are rather delicious, quite sunny yellows, but sort of a mustardy hint to them. So I've cut some little pieces up, and I'll just show you what I've done. I've just cut some little pieces because I just was wondering whether we carry on the same sort of theme, as though these are just something in the background. These could actually be, I'm thinking of a particular tree here outside my friend's house, which was a beech tree. And you could see the beautiful orangey colours at the front, the sort of beech tree colours. And then it also had yellowy ones behind. So you were seeing through one tree to another tree, or one next to each other. And I just wondered whether we add some other colours in. I even was wondering whether we put some glitzy colours in to add a bit of light, as though the light is just coming through, or the light's in the background, so you have a little bit of sparkle. So this is what I love to do. This is called playing, isn't it? You just go, ooh, what if I put that there? What if I put that there? Is that too much? You know, does that make it look more of a piece when I do that? So you'll have to let me know in the comments below, would you do it with the pieces? Or would you do it without the pieces? And what I'll do is I'll try and show you, you know, and would you keep the goldy bits, the sparkly bits, or do you think that's too different? Because I'm all for being a bit reckless and a bit wild, but the jury's out for those bits for me. I think I will just take those out for a moment. I think that's a bit too, not quite the right thing. And again, I think this is just 3 little colours adding into the mix rather than lots. So I think I'm just going to say, you know, would you put those yellows in and add it into the mix, or would you not? That's the question. So I'm just going to pin these on and embellish them, and we'll see what happens from there. And it might be, maybe put something on top of that bit, or is that bit on top of that bit? I don't know. Don't think it really matters. Let's not worry about things. So we'll just pin these on, just loosely. They can be moved. They don't have to stay in these places. You know, they can be moved. Nothing set in stone. Let's put another bit of something down there. I'll just pop that down there as though it's coming up from sort of underneath there somewhere. So it's a bit rough and ready, but that's fine. And I think maybe even, again, might put some sort of smaller bits in. Oops, that's not very good. Trim that better. So you've got sort of hints of bits. This is really good fun to do because, again, you know, no right, no wrong. Simply what pleases your eye. And I think it'll be better, it'll come more, a bit like doing the orange bit down here. This kind of came, I started, and then it became apparent what I needed to do. And once you start embellishing, you start to get a feeling for what's going on. But I do like the yellow. I think that was a good choice. I think it lifts the whole thing to sort of match the colour of this and this. Otherwise, this was just rather dark and rather sort of grey looking. And I think we'll obviously have to put some bits up in this corner as well. But I'll do this bit first. That definitely needs some bits. Maybe just one bit even. Don't want to make it look too busy or too contrived. I'm not, you know, it's got to look natural as possible. So I'm going to get my embellisher going and we'll just whack these down. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba.